Okay, going. Welcome, my huge audience, to the recruitment and retainment webinar. So hopefully this will provide some useful information, uh, how to get new members into your club and keep them there. Build a stronger organization over the years. Okay, so recruitment at its core, it's about fostering and building relationships with individuals. You want to connect with your prospective members on a personal level. So we're going to talk about basic strategies for recruiting, marketing your club on campus so it seems interesting and worth joining, building your presence on social media, and then for running an effective meeting. So one of the main challenges that all clubs face is recruiting and retaining members. Each year, students graduate and new students join, and it's all about getting these new students educated about Tigers, talking to them about what you do as a club, and then trying to develop them into future leaders to keep the club going throughout the years. That's a turnover because of club turnover. Alrighty. Okay. So, quick poll. When should you be focused on recruiting new members into your Tigers for Tigers club? Start of the fall semester, start of the spring, whenever there's an organization fair on campus, or year-round. Let's see if I can make this work. Boom.
Okay, there you go.
Alrighty. 100% voted. Let's see. What are the results? Oh my gosh, you all are so smart. You're correct. Year-round. Recruitment is year-round. Anytime your fellow members are out representing Tigers for Tigers, whether it's on campus, tabling, fundraising, out on a trip, group event, this is always an opportunity to recruit new members into your Tiger tribe. Okay, so that being said, one of the biggest and most useful ways of recruiting new members is through what are called interest meetings. So an interest meeting is just an opportunity to show prospective members what Tigers for Tigers does to protect our Tiger mascot on your campus. So during these meetings, it's important to cover a few critical pieces of information. First, it's the mission of Tigers for Tigers. What is it? What is this club about? Then, what are the issues facing wild tigers? Why does the club exist? Okay, because tigers are going extinct. Here's why. And then, what do you guys do as a club to help protect your mascot and save tigers from extinction? Talk about the specific initiatives, events, and fundraisers that you do. Make it personal. And mention that you're part of the national coalition so they can see that it's a national movement, students across the country, different types of schools, all working together for this one common goal. And definitely want to get across that it's fun at your interest meeting. So when you host these meetings, good time to host them is either beginning of the semester after an organization fair, which usually are at the beginning of each semester, or after a major event. So if you do a Tiger skit on your campus, we have a lot of exposure. Students are going to be like, what is this club? What is this club? But if it's the middle of the year, a lot of times they'll be like, well, I don't want to join in the middle of the year. You know, they've already got whatever they're doing going on. It'd be awkward. But if you host one of these meetings, it gives them a chance to join and feel like it's appropriate for them to sign up. So you should try to have at least one of these meetings when you host them before your actual club meeting. That way, if students are interested, they can just stick around for your whole meeting and meet all your members and see what it's about. And have food. Just by having free pizza, I think most students would show up to just about any meeting regardless of the content if you have pizza. So that's a good idea. All right, so at these interest meetings, again, you're trying to convince students to join your club. Here's some tips. Get to know them. Don't just stand up at the front of the room and lecture. Talk to them either before, whether showing up, or after you're done. Get to know them on a personal level so they feel welcome. Keep it simple. You don't have to go. There's obviously, as we know, there's a lot of issues facing tigers, and they're complicated and complex. But just keep your mission simple. Keep the information simple. so they can remember it and take it home. Be credible. So tell them about what you guys have accomplished at your club and be proud of that. They'll see that pride and they'll be like, wow, I want to be a part of this too. How can I do this? Highlight the benefits and successes, why these are important, and why it's good to join the club, what you can get out of it, whether that's potential career opportunities, experience, internships, new friends, everything. And use emotion. If you're trying to talk to these people about this club and treat it as sort of just a lecture, and with no feeling behind it, there's just going to be like another class to them, another subject. But if they see that you're really passionate about this, that'll go a long way. And touch on your personal stories, and how Tigers for Tigers has really benefited you and what you enjoy from it. Another poll for our audience: has your club held an interest meeting this semester, or are you planning on holding an interest meeting this semester? Man, you guys are fast at the polls.
I have to defend myself on this one.
Okay.
I've honestly never heard of an interest meeting. I'm a freshman, so this is my first time being an officer, and we've never really done an interest meeting.
Okay.
So I think that's a great idea, though.
Great. Yeah, no, I mean, they're huge. And back when I was at Clemson, that was, that was when we got most of our members were at these meetings, because it is just an opportunity when students feel like, okay, this is an appropriate time for me to join and ask questions, and they don't feel intimidated.
Right. And I think they'd feel a lot more comfortable, like, being together with the newbies instead of just being surrounded by a ton of people who've been there forever.
Exactly. Any more questions on interest meetings?
No, I think I'm taking notes on my side. That's why I'm quiet.
Okay.
But
that's fine.
I love the idea.
Great. Yeah, no, they're really good. And like I said, if you can, it's usually good to host them on different days of the week. So then if students have a prior engagement one day, they can make another one. And again, if you have one right before your main meetings, they can just stick on through if they're interested.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. In-class presentations. This is another great way to just get Tigers for Tigers out there, word of mouth. If you have a big class.
Can you fix the screen?
What's that?
I'm still seeing the poll.
Oh, still seeing the poll.
Yeah. There we go.
Good?
Thank
okay,
you.
Cool. Thank you. Yeah, okay, so in-class presentations. If you have any of your classes, you can always go up to your professor and tell them, hey, I'm in Tigers for Tigers. We're trying to get new members, or we have this big event coming up, depending on the situation. This is what we're doing. This is what we're about. Do you mind if I talk in front of the class for 5 minutes and just let them know we have this going on? And when, so if you're having an interest meeting, so you can announce it at before one of your classes. And if you do that, always have some sort of flyer leave behind that the students can take with them in case they aren't paying attention to you. I don't know what student wouldn't pay attention. That never happens. And then too, if you have a class project that you can incorporate Tigers for Tigers in, absolutely do that. Again, it gets your professors familiar with your club, which can open up doors further down the road you might not even expect. And if you're doing some sort of, say you're in a communications class and you do a social media project, if you incorporate your Tigers for Tigers social media accounts into that, it can only improve, how you guys manage your accounts. So there's a lot of opportunities that way. And again, it gets other students and your professors exposed to Tigers for Tigers. So market your club. So all you students individually represent your Tigers for Tigers brand. The way you talk about it, the way you market it, the way you act when you're wearing Tigers for Tigers gear or fundraising or doing these events, that is Tigers for Tigers. You are the institution at your school. So if you're excited and you're full of emotion and you're passionate, then you're going to attract these same types of students. And the more you talk about it, the more you put Tigers for Tigers at the forefront of people's minds, the better chance it is that they'll join. It's just like advertising. You see, a McDonald's commercial 500 times, but then the 501st time you're like, what, a Big Mac sounds really good. Then you go for it. Make it your brand contagious. Again, social currency. Just talk about it. Wear your Tigers for Tigers gear around campus. And just when you see these people that are thinking about Tigers for Tigers, convince them to join whatever they're interested in. They can always tailor it to Tigers for Tigers. And then be personal. Take your own stories, your own experiences about Tigers for Tigers, and use that to convince others to join. If they hear you had such an amazing time or had this experience, they're going to want that for themselves. And hearing that personal story is very powerful. So be creative. Find creative ways to promote your club on campus. We're going to talk more a little bit about flyers and all, the usual promotion. But the more creative you can be, the better. This is a picture from RIT's hockey jersey fundraiser a couple years ago. And, it was a fundraiser, but at the same time, this was a huge, huge marketing and recruitment tool for their club. Hockey is the equivalent of football at RIT. It's huge, big alumni presence. And they had, all their players go out in these jerseys. They auction the jerseys off, and that got huge word of mouth. And a ton of people found out about Tigers for Tigers at RIT through this one event. So flyers, another poll for our audience. We're going to look at 2 flyers, and then you guys, all of you, decide which one you think is the best out of the 2. Okay, flyer number 1 and flyer number 2. And I just pulled these off the internet, so I cannot claim credit for either of these lovely flyers. Okay. The results. B. Wow, you guys are so smart. B, yes, B is better. I think we can all see why. Anyway, so flyers should have 2 primary objectives: make you stop and think and deliver the message. So you want to catch people's attention, and you want to communicate your message quickly and clearly. So be dynamic and eye-catching, but they don't have to be messy and obnoxious like that first flyer. Too many fonts, too many colors, too many, graphics can just be distracting as opposed and have a negative effect. So these are some good things that all flyers should try to have. First is a catchy title to draw people in. And the 1 or 2 sentences delivering the message, but sometimes that can be incorporated into the title as well. So use your best judgment there. Your call to action: is it attend a meeting? Is it sign up online for our fundraiser? Is it what do you want them to do? Make sure that's very clear and easy for them to see. Include all the key information about what you're advertising for: the date, time, and location. That should be pretty obvious. And then always include a link to your website or social media. And so be sure these links reflect the content of the flyer. And what I mean by that is, if you're advertising for an interest meeting, and then someone sees your website on there and they go to, or your Facebook page, either one, and they go to check it out and get more information. If there's nothing on your website or Facebook page about what you're advertising for, you might lose that person because they wanted a little bit more information besides the flyer to convince them to go. And if it doesn't reflect that on your website and online presence, you might lose those people. So if you have an event page for an event you're advertising for your interest meetings or whatever, be sure that's where the link goes to. And have your logo. If you guys have a logo, otherwise use the coalition logo is fine. It just gives yourselves a little bit more credibility, and it's something to remember you by. And use a knockout logo if possible, which means no background. So kind of like the logo in the top right of the screen, the Tigers for Tigers logo, it blends in with, it's a little hard to see on here, honestly, but blends in with the black. It doesn't have just like a white rectangle behind it. It just looks more professional. And so anybody in your club, if you have them with a graphic design or similar background, should take the lead on designing your flyers and marketable content. Just because, it's their interest and you want to keep your members involved. It goes to Retainment. Give them something they're good at and with how they feel they can help your club. They'll know how to make these types of materials quicker and easier than someone who has to learn it, as they go along. And again, it just caters to their interests and makes them feel like they're useful to your club. Social media. Every club should have a Facebook and Twitter account. They're pretty easy to make. And it's important to stay current and up to date with these because a lot of times this is, the first impression your club makes. And as we all know, first impressions are very important. So if you have a Facebook page that hasn't been updated in 6 months, they're going to be like, well, is this club even, still around? Are they still what are they doing? I don't know. Who are these people? And same goes with Twitter. And so, like an effective flyer, they should be professional and consistent. It doesn't mean they can't be creative and fun, but just be conscious of what you post. And if you guys don't really know where to start, your your marketing services department at your universities can be super helpful. That's what they do for a living, and it'll take them, set up a meeting with them, and they can help you guys devise a good social media strategy. So what to post? Basically, pictures of tigers and pictures of your club members having fun. That's really what people care about. So share your success stories. So anytime you guys do anything, whether it's just tabling, you guys have a club movie night or whatever, share it. As much content as you can put out is great. Take photos of everything, even if you think it's boring, other people won't. Pictures from club meetings, tabling events, just hanging out, any club updates, or even university-related updates. So, if Mizzou wins the SEC, definitely make a post about that because everyone's going to want to jump on that and join the party. All right, major key alert. When you're doing social media, tag prominent social media accounts. So on the right here, this is an example of one of the best tweets we've ever had, and it kind of exemplifies the perfect tweet in that it's got a clear call to action, sign up, there's the link, and to get these short links, if you don't know it, use a website called bit.ly.com. You just copy the URL in and it shortens it up for you. We have our hashtag to track all the posts throughout the day. We reached out to a celebrity or a prominent account, and just happened to be that Ricky Gervais picked up the tweet, retweeted it, and the likes and retweets just started flooding in all day. Because most clubs have only a couple hundred, if that, followers. So if you have great content and great messaging, and your audience is super small, it doesn't matter how great it is, no one's going to see it. But if you tag your official university accounts, other prominent accounts, fan accounts, they can pick this up and really expand the reach of your audience. But when you do a tweet or a Facebook post, always have a picture or a video of some sort of media. That's key. And try to include a call to action. What do you want them to do? They see it, they're excited, they've liked it, but is there something else you want them to do? Sign up for something, do this, do that. Include a call to action. And Facebook, you want to post once or twice a day. You want to overload people on Facebook. But Twitter and Instagram, you can be a little bit more liberal with your posts. Tabling. We're running short on time, so I'm just going to kind of skip this slide. You guys all are pretty good at tabling. Yep. Utilize your university administration to help you advertise. So, they have great services, media relations, marketing, your department head, if your advisors in the biological sciences department or something, they'll help put out your message, student affairs. And all they want to do is promote the great work of their students. And if you just ask them to, 9 times out of 10, they'll help you. But you just have to ask them. If there's major listservs too at your university for your majors or through your colleges, definitely get on those as well. So appeal to all majors. A lot of times it seems like our Tigers clubs are dominated by one type of major or another, but the best clubs, and usually most successful clubs, always have a diverse student body in their major choices. And cater to the majors you have, and they can all be useful. Political science can help with policy, graphic design, make flyers, communications, improve social media. The list goes on and on. And so when you realize you have those members in your clubs, try to figure out ways to get them involved in using their expertise. Friends, reach out to your friends. They can be some of your best supporters, and you can always guilt them into going to your events because they're your friends. 10 tips. We're going to just whip through this because we already went over everything. Yep, there's your tips. Always be thinking about recruitment. Involve your whole club as a team effort. Talk to your friends. Reach out to your professors. We didn't really talk about this, but use your campus media to help promote your events and your club. Eye-catching and dynamic flyers. Different departments, different majors. Follow up with all your prospective members. So if people come to an interest meeting and you get them to sign up, send a personal note. back to them like, hey, I'm so glad you came to our meeting. We're just remind you we're meeting again on these days. We'd love to have you come out. That follow up and that personal touch is hugely important. Always smile, be happy, be enthusiastic. If you're excited about the club and what you guys are doing, that'll radiate throughout all your members. And never get discouraged. Okay, retainment. Um, do you have to, Jessica? Do you have to leave at a certain time? Like, is this a time crunch?
Oh, no, no, no.
Okay.
I am free all day.
Okay, cool. So I might go another 10 minutes then, if that's okay.
It's fine.
And Jessica speaks for the rest of the audience. So great. Retainment. So now that you've got all these people, how do you make sure they stay? This is a pretty good list, I think, about why people volunteer versus why they stop. They volunteer because A, your cause and mission speaks to them. They think it's important. They want to be involved with the organization. They want to meet new people, get new friends, and some, want leadership experience to build up that resume. And the bottom line is everyone just wants to make a difference. So people stop volunteering because lack of time. Some people are just too busy, and you really can't do anything about that. Lack of knowledge and skills, lack of interest in the group goals. If you're not communicating to your members what is expected of them and what you're doing as a club and what your goals are, if they just feel too out of the loop, they're gonna be like, "What am I doing here? This is not fun," and they'll leave. No sense of community, same type of thing. Always make an effort to reach out and have a personal relationship with your members. And be supportive if you see someone is feeling not too involved or just doesn't feel a part of the group. Make a personal effort to reach out and go talk to them. And again, we talked a little earlier, failure to communicate expectations. Make sure you always have clear goals, clearly communicate the goals of the club and what you expect of members and officers. So keep them involved by giving them responsibility. So once you have all these new members coming to your club after your great interest meetings and in-class presentations, you want to give them an opportunity to get involved quickly. And if you already have existing officers, see if talk to your officers, see if they need help. If you're, your fundraising officer needs help organizing this event, have a new member who really wants to get involved. Say, hey, can you help them with this, and have them allocate responsibility out. If you're having a big fundraiser like this, someone work the merchandise table. That's their job. And even if you give them this responsibility, they're going to take that ownership and sense of belonging and take it and run with it. They don't want to disappoint the club, and that can be the start of a dedicated member become a future officer. Again, this goes back to communication. Just clearly define expectations and roles. So if you want someone to do something, or people need to know what they're expected of, what's expected of them, and what they're responsible for. If that's clearly communicated, they'll have a better chance of actually doing what they need to do. And always seek feedback. Am I, as a club leader, am I communicating effectively? Do you know what you need to be doing? Does this make sense? Do you agree with what we're talking about here? What do you think? Always ask for that feedback. Recognize the members for who they are. Everyone has different personalities. Some are task-oriented and just want to get the job done. Others just want to talk and goof around and everything. And it's all great. You need all these different types of people in your club. Participation levels will vary, and again, that's okay. Everyone has their different strengths, and you just need to cater to their strengths. Always praise your members publicly and privately. Say that you did a great job. Doing this. If that someone volunteered to do a tabling event, thank them. Thank you for coming out and doing this. I appreciate your hard work. Set some time aside to do fun things. Just to say, that was a big fundraiser. It took a lot of work, but now we're just gonna chill and revel in the glory of the money we raised for Tigers. So just recognize accomplishments. Again, always want to keep it fun. That really is the biggest thing. Once Tigers for Tigers isn't fun anymore, people are going to leave. So it's important to have your goals and accomplish them, but not at the expense of it not being fun. And always celebrate your victories. talking to a lot of club members, sometimes they feel like oh, we try to do this, but we didn't really get what we wanted to do. We didn't raise this much money. It didn't work out. But everything you do is a victory, no matter how small. So, like, say you want to collect 100 letters to support a piece of legislation. And you have this big event planned, and you only get 45, not even half. But this isn't a failure because those are 45 more letters that Congress would not have received about whatever you're supporting. And this is huge. Just one could have been the difference. So you need to celebrate all victories and hard work and find the positives in everything because you don't have to find them. I mean, they should be obvious because anything you guys do really is huge. Finally, educate your members about tigers. I mean, that's why we all joined in the first place because we like tigers and we don't want them to go extinct. So definitely incorporate tiger messaging into your club meetings and do fun activities, whether it's going to the sanctuary, fun games about tigers, Jeopardy games, I don't know, whatever you want to do, but just keep tigers at the forefront of people's minds because that's why they're here in the first place. And it's ideally they should know about all the different issues facing tigers. You don't want to lump it all, load it all on them at once, but as Tigers members, you guys should be the experts on campus about tigers and not only the issues facing them, but what you can do to make a difference. That's key, is to always be positive when talking about tigers. A lot of times it can intimidate people or if you focus too much on the negatives. So always end positively, say how you can make a difference. Effective communication. We kind of already talked about this. Again, you should have an environment where your members feel like they can express themselves without the fear of criticism, and they're not going to be put down for differing from the group. And give them an opportunity to approach you after a meeting or something, and talk with them privately if they don't feel comfortable speaking in front of the group. And keep it fun. That's the whole thing. That's the whole point. We're in college. We want to have fun, and if we can protect tigers while we're having fun, that's what it's all about. So that concludes the first webinar. Any questions? Any comments? Any suggestions?
No, I honestly, I like this whole presentation because, like I said, I was unaware of a lot of these things and these ideas.
Great. Great. All right, well, here, Jessica, I want to talk to you a little bit more, but I'm going to turn off the recording now so then we can get this out to other people later.